Good afternoon. Welcome to a brand new week. My name is Danilo Acquisto.
And I'm Bonnie Booley. Welcome to Afternoon Express. It's another motivational Monday in the loft. And today we're discussing the concept of mindfulness.
Now, what exactly does mindfulness mean? Because in the current generation that we're in this time of our world, everything is scattered. We're all over the place. We're about to find out more about what it means to be mindful, to be present in the moment.
Yeah.
And so today we're joined by Chairman of the Institute for Mindfulness South Africa. He'll be sharing some more information about what exactly that is. Plus, we have a lady who's joining us in the loft today who's applied the principles of mindfulness in her life, and she's seen so many fruits of that. So make sure you guys stay tuned for those two interviews.
Yeah, we also chat to an expert who's going to demonstrate a technique that can help you be more mindful and present in the moment. We're also giving away some colouring in books, as this adult colouring in has taken over the world.
Yeah.
It's quite a big thing lately.
And so you tried as well, so we're finding out about your experience very, very soon. But joining us in the loft today is the beautiful, sultruous and present Jeannie D.
Thanks, guys. However, the dog ate my homework. I wasn't able to do my colouring in this weekend. I had such a stunning weekend. Mondays are always so difficult to ease into, especially if you have a good weekend. And today, sadly, there's going to be no time to relax because I'm making everybody dinner, slaving away here in the kitchen. What are we making?
No slaving today. It's actually a very, very easy one. So it's a sausage, cabbage, and apple bacon. It all goes into one tray, throw it in the oven, walk away.
Oh, fantastic. Don't tell the rest of them that it's that easy. But we want you to cook with us. All you need to do is visit our website for all of the ingredients and, of course, the recipe, and you can cook along with us as we go. However, today we are live, so give us a call a little bit later, 083-913-3728. Also, tweet us at Afternoon Chat using the official hashtag Afternoon Express, and we're on Instagram and, of course, Facebook on Afternoon Express. Welcome to this Monday. We have our very first guest on the couch.
Indeed we do. So now we all want to live fuller, happier and more meaningful lives. But we spend so much time doing things without actually paying attention, worrying about yesterday and tomorrow, living mindlessly and not being present in the here and now. Today we'd like to introduce and explore the practice of living mindfully through mindfulness. And here to introduce this way of life is the chairman of the Institute for Mindfulness South Africa, Dr. Simon Whitesman, who also directs the mindfulness-based stress reduction program at the Cape Town Medi Clinic. Dr. Simon, welcome to the loft. It's good to have you.
Thank you very much. Lovely to be here.
So let's kick this open from right at the beginning. Mindfulness. What is that?
Mindfulness is a particular inherent human capacity to be engaged and attentive to where we find ourselves, which sounds like not that much. As somebody once said, it's much ado about almost nothing. However, that almost nothing amounts to an enormous amount of impact and difference in the world, because it allows us to drop into the very central and foundational elements of who we are, which we find right at the bottom is based in presence. So mindfulness is essentially a practice of cultivating presence, and we can develop that through training. So that's one of the most important elements, is that wherever we are, wherever we find ourselves, we can always develop it further. We can always train ourselves further.
Why is it necessary? Because society seems to say to us at the moment, more, better, bigger, faster. Why is it important to be mindful?
Well, we can look at it from a number of perspectives. One is that we're very good at being mindless. And so what we do often, we become really good at. So we, in a sense, de facto cultivate mindlessness unless we're cultivating mindfulness. And the consequences of mindlessness is, in essence, vast. But we tend to miss the very things that are meaningful and create richness in our lives if we're always lost in the future or preoccupied with the past.
Sure.
So that is an incredibly important element, is to drop beneath our mindlessness, to come off automatic pilot and go, well, here I am. Can I actually show up for the experience? Can I engage with this moment just as it is, and actually feel the richness inherent in that?
So you mentioned feeling the richness. Does it show practical results? Because I know it's being used in medicine as well. I know you're a GP and you use this as a form to treat patients. Does it see results?
It shows exceptional results, quite unexpected really. Certainly when I got into it as a personal practice, I didn't envisage the kind of research that would be happening 20 years later. So not only within medicine, but within psychology, within healthcare in general, in education, teaching children as young as 5 or 6 years old, in corporate, and teaching leaders how to be more emotionally intelligent, how to be more balanced in their perception and in their view of themselves. So there's vast vast impact. I think the effect in healthcare probably has its center point around mental health, which tends to not be prioritized that much. We tend to focus tremendously on physical health. But if we look at the lived experience day to day of most people are really struggling with the wear and tear of daily life.
And we're struggling quite a lot in society at the moment with anxiety. It seems to be getting worse and worse as we go. So I can imagine something like mindfulness would be a great, well, learning more about mindfulness will be a great tool towards helping you treat those sort of symptoms. But why are we such scatterbrains at the moment? Why is it so necessary for a form like this to be present now?
Well, we actually scatterbrains because our brain is programmed to be scattered. It was evolutionarily necessary for us to think about what isn't happening when we had to hunt for food. So the brain is actually programmed to think about what isn't happening so we could outwit all the wild animals on the plain.
Predict all the things that could go wrong
and also outwit, because we couldn't outrun, we couldn't outfight a woolly mammoth, but we could outthink.
Yes.
So that is a particular capacity of the brain, particularly the part of the brain called the prefrontal cortex, which is right at the front of the brain. The problem is that we really can just nip out to Spa for food now. We don't have to go down the road and kill a woolly mammoth. But we still have the same brain.
Yes.
And that brain is encoded to think about all the things that we could do, imagination and planning and so forth. So we actually have it ingrained in us. And the problem is now that it's run amok and it doesn't serve us in the way that it served us, say, 100,000 years ago.
So you're basically saying that mindfulness is for everybody, because my next question was going to be, who is mindfulness for and who should be more mindful? Because I'm certain that some people who have psychological disorders or are suffering from anxiety, depression, they would slightly need more mindfulness exercises than the regular Joe who's feeling good. Or who needs mindfulness?
Well, maybe everybody could be a little bit more mindful if you choose to be. So whatever your baseline of mindfulness, one could always develop the capacity a little bit further. Because as we refine that capacity, our own sense of presence deepens, and our own sense of our embodiment in the world, our own sense of choosing more skillfully about being able to engage with each other more wisely and compassionately increases. That said, there's a tremendous amount of data, to come back to your previous question as well, which actually shows that we improve mental health and physical health to a significant degree when we intentionally train in mindfulness. So certainly the clinical research shows that in depression and in anxiety, it's enormously helpful, reduces symptoms and restores people to functionality.
But it could be for anybody. I suppose me as a media personality, we're always all over the place, always thinking about the next, the more, the bigger, got to be somewhere else, got to do something different. So this is very important we're discussing this on the show today. So please don't go anywhere. We want to share some more of that wisdom from you in just a bit, South Africa. So if you have any stories to share or questions to ask, make sure you get hold of us on our social media sites, as well as 083-913-3728. Now, after the break, Jeannie makes a sausage, cabbage and apple bake, and we chat to a woman who has incorporated this mindfulness into her life with remarkable results. We'll be right back.
Express yourself.
Clicks. Feel good. Pay less.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express, and we're about to heat up this kitchen with dinner tonight. It looks like it's going to be very wholesome. We've got some sausage, some cabbage. I sound like my greengrocer. Okay, so how do we get started?
So like I said earlier, a yummy sort of one tray bake. All of this just gets popped into here in the oven and you walk away. And in 45 minutes to an hour, it's ready. Okay, so it's actually perfect timing. Get cooking with us.
Yes. Let's do it.
So I'm going to get you chopping. So we've already just taken sort of the potatoes, quartered them. Yeah. These are the ones that you get from Woolies, which are the garlic and butter.
Love.
And then chop those up. They kind of cook a little bit faster. That's why I like using those. And you get the garlic and butter, which is a win.
Love.
These you're going to just cut in half for me, because those are going to cook quite fast. So you don't want to cut them up in quarters as well, then they're going to overcook.
And these are so delicious.
And they're kind of cute as well. They're
Can I use this knife?
baby cabbage, and they're just cool. Yeah, go for that.
And then cut the apples as well.
Into quarters. Also, the apples, you know, they're quite big, so you want to just kind of even out your cooking times.
That's an interesting flavour to go with all of this.
Okay, you think of applesauce.
Yeah.
Pork. Apples,
yes,
amazing.
okay.
And then cabbage and all that goes fabulously with it. These are yummy, yummy, yummy pork sausages that are new at Woolies, and there's a whole bunch of different flavors, and I just love it. And it's part of the daily difference this week, so you're winning. So we're just gonna melt some butter. This is actually a chipotle and lime butter. Again, I'm like all about my favorites on this dish. I probably live for this butter. I put it on everything. I put it on my bread, I put it on my potatoes, I put it on my meat.
Yeah, because she looks like she eats bread and potatoes all the time.
I do. Good genes.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mom and Dad. So we're just gonna melt that up there. And then, like I said, one pot. So these are gonna go into here. Let's just cut this up.
Delish.
Don't you love when you just have to open up a bag?
I know.
Let's pop those out there.
There you
These
go.
are good, wholesome. You don't want to put that in there. That's just the little absorption pack. Kind of even those out. I'm going to steal the potatoes from you.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm going to put
I
about
need more
half in here
space
because
here
actually I probably need a little bit of a bigger dish. You want everything to kind of even out nicely on a tray. So probably a bigger kind of roasting dish will work out a little bit better. So we'll just pretend that fits. Then let's pop these in here. These look big, but honestly, they're going to cook quite fast. You know, they're not a very
And they do shrink,
big.
hey?
Yes, they do indeed. And actually, the leaves around the outside get kind of crispy, and it's delicious.
Oh, lovely.
How are you doing there?
Well, okay, but I think if Danilo was in the kitchen, he would have like cleared the seeds and stuff from the apples.
No,
I'm
you're
just
doing
not
good. No, you don't want to?
really skilled enough. No, I'll do it for you if you really want me to.
So you just have to take pop it down on its side like that, and then just cut that core out.
Ah,
you can get fancy and get one of those cores that go straight through the middle and then chop it up, but I don't think many people have those, so this is the way to go.
Do you want to know something so funny?
What, you have an
I
apple
have one
core?
of those. I even have an olive pepper. For somebody who doesn't use their kitchen at all, I've got like everything in
And
there.
'tis the cherry season in about a month's time, and an olive pepper is like the best thing to use to take the
pip
pips out of the cherry.
Okay.
I mean, you don't want to just plonk it in your mouth and do it yourself. If you're going to be putting it in a cake or whatnot.
No, you see,
then
I
it's
do
just a
that too
fabulous-
because then I try and tie a knot in the cherry stick. Kidding.
Okay, I'm going to pour this over while you kind of chop up those apples there, and those are going to be added on here. It's a beautiful color, this chipotle, and it's just a fantastic flavor. That goes, get it all out. You don't want to waste any of that goodness. That goes out
That
onto
looks
there.
so good already.
Rosemary, beautiful friend of apple and pork. Let's put that on here. And then a bit of garlic. I'm not too precious about the size of this garlic. Just kind of halved it, popped in here because it's going to roast up beautifully, and you're not going to get like chunks of garlic. It's, you know, when garlic roasts, it sort of sweetens up the garlic. You don't look convinced about something.
No, I'm garlic, pork sausages, cabbage. Are you sure you don't want to marry my brother?
Amazing. I'm going to steal some of these apples from you.
Yes, I've
And
actually
these are going to
done
get
not a bad
thrown in
job.
here. And the apples just add a beautiful sweetness to the pork and the cabbage. And cabbage, a little bit of bitter. See, I'm kind of teaching you all about flavors here. And flavor
Yeah, I'm learning,
profiles.
I'm
You're gonna
learning.
Work how to move things together. And that's it. Then it goes into the oven, 180 degrees, like I said, 45 minutes to about an hour, just until everything starts to caramelize, the potatoes are soft, and you're winning.
Did I just waste my time with the rest of
No,
these
no, I'm
apples?
gonna do it. I'm gonna use
Okay,
it.
good, okay. Over to you. All right, be sure to get this delicious recipe and, of course, this fantastic shopping list on our website, afternoonexpress.co.za, and cook with us every day on this glorious show. But right now, Bonnie's on the couch with our next guest. We're being mindful.
Juggling major responsibilities as a senior researcher in a high-pressured professional environment and being a single mother of 3 busy boys, Bridget Dutleng found meaning in the practice of mindfulness. Today, she shares how it has helped her remain focused and calm in often hectic environments, and also how she teaches it to her children. Welcome to The Loft, Bridget.
Thank you very much.
Lovely to have you. What first attracted you to mindfulness? Or living mindfully, rather?
I think it was the pressures of life, the fact that I felt that I couldn't cope. I couldn't cope with the kids. I couldn't cope with the job. I couldn't cope with the studies, and you know, with being a single mother and also having extended family, you know, issues of budgets, having so many multiple roles that I'm playing, and I'm just one person.
Yes, and it's all up to you to get it done.
Exactly, and it does have to get done.
Yes. So how did you apply it to your life, and what are some of the techniques you learned?
Well, firstly, I did a course called the Mindfulness-Based Stress Reduction Program. And initially, mindfulness for me was about taking an hour off and just being mindful and just sitting and either sitting in meditation or doing some of the other practices. But eventually it became a lifestyle.
Wow.
So at first my life was a bit compartmentalized, yeah.
Yes.
You know, work was work and kids were kids. And when I sat and meditated, it was that. And through mindfulness, I actually learned that everything needs for me to be mindful and to focus. When I'm with my kids, that's also a part of meditation. When I'm at work, I have to focus. It's about being present. It's about being there all the time. It's about, you know, not being with my children and dreaming about something else, tomorrow's presentation at work. And, you know, it's about cooking dinner and being aware that I'm making dinner for my kids.
And not thinking about what you have to do when you're done to prepare for work tomorrow. I mean,
Exactly.
I can totally relate to that because I'm a mom, I have a busy schedule, and those responsibilities can get overwhelming.
Yes.
How significant were the changes that you saw in yourself from before and after you started practicing mindfulness?
The first thing for me was being aware that I'm always anxious and being aware of the restlessness inside of me, which I wasn't aware of before, and being aware that I'm constantly worried. I'm never really there. I'm doing something, I'm cooking, and I'm worried about their bath time. I'm busy running the bath, and I'm worried about what time are you going to sleep?
I do that all the time.
Yes, I need to switch on my laptop.
Wow.
And when my laptop is on, I'm like, what time is it? I have to time myself. I have to be done by 12 midnight. And tomorrow's presentation, you know, it was about that. It was, first of all, being aware that I'm never really there. I'm never really relaxed.
Right.
And it's not really about relaxation. It's about being present.
Being present.
It's, you know, and when I do walk to work, I don't even feel my steps. So one of the amazing things for me, it might sound like something small, but it was about walking and being aware that I'm walking. And actually my feet touching the ground instead of walking and
Thinking about where you need to be and when you're getting there.
and not even aware that I'm thinking about it.
Wow.
You know,
Isn't that incredible?
Yes.
And has it had health benefits? I mean, in the workplace where there's friction and conflict from time to time, how has it helped you operate in that environment?
Absolutely, it does have definite benefits because I find that I handle stress better when I'm mindful. I find that I handle my relationships better when I'm mindful. I find that whether at work or with my children, my oldest son, for example, had a thing about when I told them that Mommy's going to be sitting now in silence, he would come and call me, Mommy, Mommy. And the first thing that happened was, you know, the anger. I used to get so angry, and I used to just feel the anger boil. And it's a discipline. I had to breathe with it, okay, and then he would nudge me, Mama, Mama, you know, he had that thing that when he knew that it's Mommy's time to be alone, then, so, you know, being aware of, now I'm getting angry, it's reaching boiling point.
I don't have to.
I don't have to,
Yes,
exactly.
yes.
Breathe with it, and eventually I actually invited my sons to come and meditate with me.
Oh my goodness, I'm coming to this course that you went to. Thank you so much for sharing with us.
Thank you very much.
After the break, Art of Living teacher Yugesh Pillay gives us a meditation demonstration, and we take a look at a new form of relaxation that is taking the world by storm. Stay tuned to learn more.
Express yourself.
Give kids the gift of hearing this Christmas. Are you with us?
Express yourself.
Welcome back to our Motivational Monday right here on Afternoon Express. Now, we live in a world filled with anxiety. There are bills to pay, there's children to look after, families to think of, futures to worry about. Now, meditation is a powerful tool which will allow you to be present and help you be more fully aware of your surroundings. We're joined by Art of Living teacher Yugesh Pillay, who will be helping us understand meditation, and he's also going to give us a demonstration of the meditation through the breath. Now, Yugesh, a very warm welcome to our loft.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
How do I greet somebody who meditates for a living? Do I say, hello?
If you want, you can do that, or you can just say, hey, what's up? Whatever works for you.
Cool. My arrogance just got me there. Okay. So, you guys, first of all, meditation as a form of becoming more mindful. Why did this art exist? What does it do to our bodies?
Meditation, well, meditation, the reason why I love it is so much because it's the art of doing absolutely nothing. Be 100% lazy in the moment. Because, I mean, in the world that we live in, so much of what we do, we just keep on being distracted like, by our senses, you know, touch, taste, smell. We just keep on wanting more and more and more. How much time do we actually spend with ourselves? How much time? Yeah.
That's the thing, exactly. I think a lot of us don't spend enough time daydreaming, thinking about who we are, understanding what we feel. How do we can never know because there's always something new to do. A radio is on or the TV's on or there's a conversation being had. We never get a chance to think and go back into ourselves and really reflect on who we are. The art of meditation, where did it begin?
Oh, this is, I mean, traditionally, like most people see, as you went like this, I mean, it's like in ancient India when these rishis and seers used to go into deep states of meditation. And they found that, you know, through these deep states of meditation, they were allowed to experience certain things. They learned more about themselves. And in this world where people are generally avoiding themselves, they're avoiding taking a deep look into themselves. You know, people are so quick to like look at other people, so quick to judge, so worried about other people's opinions. You know, all these things, and everything that this does is it creates a lot of stress in our lives.
So if I'm obviously looking to become more mindful, I'm looking to really go into myself, what are some of the benefits that I'll see by spending regular time meditating?
Well, the first thing is focus. For me, I'm just talking personally, the biggest thing for me is focus because my mind used to keep on going at 150 kilometers an hour.
Tell me about it,
I used to have problems sleeping. I used to have problems with my communicating with my friends, my family, my relationships. And all of this was just because if we don't learn how to let go of our stress, if we don't learn how to let go of our negative emotions, you know, what happens? It just keeps on building up in us, keeps on building up. At no point do we actually get any true relief.
Exactly. So we're keen to kind of learn some of those techniques because I think there's many things that we can do at home, I'm sure, that are very simple forms of meditation to help you guide through that process because no one has so much time in their day to go and sit down for an hour and just be still. But I think it has got so much value to it that I think you'll be adding an extra couple of hours to your life every single day if you do spend time doing it.
Most definitely. If you don't have time to meditate, that means you definitely should be meditating.
Exactly. Yes. So, how do we get started?
Well, the first thing is we're going to do a meditation technique through the breath. Okay. So I think let's just scooch a bit forward. All right, nice and comfy. Now, just for the viewers at home, if you have any medical problems, say you have high blood pressure, glaucoma, or you're pregnant, don't do this one. Just breathe gently. But for you, I think this will be very useful because if you're this technique that we're going to learn gives you a lot of energy, gives you a lot of focus.
And I must just say that he made me, before we went live today in the ad break, he said, please just blow your nose before we do this. So I'm very interested to figure out what exactly he means by blow your nose first.
Okay, cool. Okay, so the first thing is hands and loose fists in front of the shoulders, elbows tucked into the rib cage, fingernails forward, right? We're going to take short, sharp breaths in and out through our nose. So when you breathe in, our hands go up like this, and they open. And when you breathe out, they go down and close. Very simple. So breathe in, up, and out. Okay, we're going to do a couple of rounds of this, all right? So the nice thing is, see if you can close your eyes and just trust me. All right, cool. If you want to join us at home, you're more than welcome to. All right, so let's breathe in, up, and open, out, down. In, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Last one, up, down. And just relax. Hands on the thighs, palms facing the sky. And just observe any subtle sensations in body and mind. Let's take a deep breath in. And let go. Another deep breath in. And let go. And very gently, we're going to take our awareness to the different parts of our body. Let's become aware of our feet, legs, thighs and hips, stomach and chest, our shoulders and arms, our hands, throat, face, to the top of your head. Become aware of the whole body. Let's take a deep breath in and let go. Another deep breath in and let go. And slowly and gently, in your own time, can open our eyes.
Sure. Whew. So it is hot in here.
It is quite hot in here.
But I think making yourself more aware of your body just also makes you aware of your presence here. Just makes you aware of where you are right now. It kind of focuses and stills your mind to focus on something, one object at a time. I know there's something called the rose meditation, which is also a very, very powerful tool. So thank you so much for sharing at least that one small tip. Don't forget that you can find out your own tips on how you can meditate. One of those forms happens to be coloring in for adults.
I think everybody's going after that. But in April of this year, the #1 best-selling book on Amazon was not the Pulitzer Prize-winning All the Light We Cannot See, or the eagerly awaited new book in the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo series. It was a colouring-in book for grown-ups. This reflects a global trend that has been enthusiastically embraced by the South African public. Our next guest, publisher Nikki Stubbs, is no stranger to this phenomenon. Welcome to Afternoon Express again.
Thank you.
Now, I remember I was flying a while ago, and it was an international flight. It was a really long flight, and the person sitting next to me had a colouring-in book. And I was mesmerised because I was kind of watching what she was doing the whole time. And it relaxed me watching her being relaxed by colouring.
I was going to say, was she extremely relaxed?
Yeah, I've just got into it, and you get into a dwell, kind of watching something and just switch off. I did that, and I watched her colouring the whole page.
When you first heard the idea of publishing colouring in books, what did you think?
Well, it's amazing what happened, because my colleagues who are the publishers brought this idea back from Europe and from America, where it's been a phenomenon for 5 years and still going strong. It hasn't died off. And we tried it in the local trade. We thought we'd probably sell a few thousand. It's now our best-selling title, best-selling series. It's our bread and butter book.
That is incredible.
And it is quite phenomenal. As a publishing friend of mine said, there are 3 rules in publishing. Just nobody knows what they are. And this is one that none of us could have predicted. Very happily, the publisher that I work for was the first in the market and came in very well priced. As you can see, they're Afrikaans Afrikaans colouring books. But I don't think you colour in a language.
And you colour in Afrikaans.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's clear.
So there is that phenomenon, which is remarkable, and you can't quite explain it. Psychologists have tried to. They have said how relaxing it is, de-stressing it is. There's a series now that I saw that's just come out called the Stress Less book, and that is what it seems to be. But from a personal point of view, I know that I've given it to people. One person that I love very much, in fact, who isn't able to make conversation when we visit her. She has a form of dementia, and suddenly we have something that takes the pressure off her, making conversation with us. She sits and colours in, we colour in with her.
Yes.
And suddenly any pressure's off both parties, and everybody has a far nicer time.
Wow. So, you know, I'll share my experience with it. So each presenter got a book, and we went home on the weekend to colour in. And I did mine last night. And first I was doing it because I just want to be the diligent student or whatever. But and as I started, I was like, oh, the colouring in. And then about 3 minutes into it, I just found myself like something was starting to happen, and as you say, it's a mystery. I started
was it a meditative state for you?
Yes,
I mean,
it
or were you conscious
was.
of what you were doing, or just subconsciously doodling?
I was totally conscious, but it seemed to order my mind. It seemed to, I kind of felt scattered at that point because it's Sunday and Monday's coming in and I'm thinking about all the stuff I have to do that week. It just ordered my mind and almost seemed to create space.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
You did a very beautiful job.
Thank you.
I love
This
that
is
blue,
my
by the
colouring
way.
in. Yay.
But even if you look at the graphics on this, it kind of does have that, you know, that hazy, you know, I think if you stare at that for long enough, you can't quite make out what it is.
Right.
Like a monogram kind of thing, those 3D kind of pictures.
Yeah.
But also, have you seen those videos that I always see on YouTube of the Tibetan monks where they take different colours salts and they put them in different patterns as well, which reminded me of a lot of the patterns in this book as well. It is cathartic when you watch it.
And do they choose specific types of pictures that go into the book?
Yes, and I think they're starting to do that more and more. These are quite general. This was the first one in the series, which did extremely well. And I think the choice in theme for these was more period or type of pattern. But I think they are starting to hone in on the stressless, the deeply soothing.
Really, not really pictures.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think possibly it's a repetitiveness in that, and that however generic each one is, that is deeply personal, what you've done there.
Yes, it was.
And becomes an expression of how you were at that time.
Yeah, and even choosing the colours is, And I mean, you can get quite creative colouring in.
Yeah.
Because you can do crayons, kokies, you've chosen pen.
Colour pen.
I wonder if that makes a difference as well. Like if you use a softer stub, but it feels gentle on your hand.
I think all of that. You can personalise it as much as you need to. Yeah.
And where are these books available?
They are available in all our bookstores across the country, and in huge piles, happily, I can tell you.
I've got one at home because I also got one for homework this weekend, and thirdly, I didn't do it.
Yeah, the dog ate your homework.
No, but I'm good. I'm going to do it today. It's a good thing to do on a Monday.
Now, we at Afternoon Express want to encourage you to colour your way to peace and calm. If you want to stand a chance to win one of these 3 colouring in books for grown-ups, SMS the keyword books, your name and city to 33728, and one of these anti-stress devices could soon be making its way right to you. We'll be right back after this.
Five Roses blends only the top 2 leaves of the finest Ceylon teas. Because nobody makes better tea than you and 5 Roses.
Welcome to our Mindfulness Motivation Monday right here on Afternoon Express. You see, like, that is inappropriate. I thought that I was being inappropriate.
Silly. I'm just being silly.
We've got all of our guests joining us on the couch, and I want you guys to give us a call right now, 0839133728, if you have any questions or comments for our guests here today. So I'm going to start actually with you, Simon. We were discussing earlier on about this whole idea of mindfulness. You were talking to me during the ad break about the degrees of mindfulness or the sort of depth of mindfulness.
Also the quality of mindfulness, because a lot of the things that we focus on is being able to what we call regulate attention. So you will notice a lot of the time when we drift off or when we're distracted, that we can actually become aware that we're distracted and then gently bring ourselves back to where we are. So it's very important as we cultivate that capacity is to not fall into judgment about ourselves and we're doing it wrong or we're bad at mindfulness or we should be better at this.
So it's not a place. Mindfulness isn't a position. I'm not like, oh, today I was mindful.
Yeah, it's actually more, it's not really something you do, it's something you are. And it's more what we call a being mode than a doing mode. So when we drop into where we're right now as we're sitting here, you know, a lot of thoughts might be swirling through your mind. What's coming next? What do I say? But actually, at the same time, you can feel your own body sitting on the chair.
Yes.
You can feel somewhere in the background the breath is moving through. Now, that's allowing some of your awareness to rest in the present moment, even though your mind is still moving. And infused into that is the essential element of what makes mindfulness, which is kindness. Kindness or compassion for ourselves and for others. So it's not simply paying attention to what's occurring in the present, but also how we pay attention. Because we can, like a sniper, could be paying attention, but with the intention to do harm. So the quality of mindfulness that makes it mindfulness is really about Say again?
Is the fruits of...
The fruits of it, but the quality of being able to be kind to ourselves.
Yes.
To be caring about ourselves, to be compassionate when we're struggling, when we're distressed, when we're stressed. And what results, the fruit of that, is that we are much more kind to others.
Wow.
So it works in both directions. So when we start with ourselves, it naturally emanates out from us. We're more considered. We take the position of another. And that, in essence, allows us to be more appreciative and respectful of each other.
As a mom, I'm thinking this is something I want to teach my children from a very early age. What are some of the techniques I can use, simple ones that they can understand daily and apply practically?
Well, Bridget might know because she's got 3 kids, so she's probably been needing to employ those quite a lot.
Well, I actually recently was trying to teach my 7-year-old meditation. So the first thing I did was sit him down, and I said to him, I sat with my 7 and 13-year-old, and I said to them, can you feel your breath? No. Can you feel yourself breathing? No. So I said to them, put your finger here. Can you feel it? No. And then I said to them, you know, because he's 7, I said, just do this. And then he said, oh, I can feel it. So eventually, they could feel the breath on the finger, and then I said to them, put your hand on your chest. Can you feel your breath on your chest? Because sometimes we breathe, but it's shallow, you know.
So sometimes you don't breathe.
Yes. And my 13-year-old could feel his breath here on the chest, but the 7-year-old couldn't. So I said, okay, breathe deeper. And he did. And then I said, now put it on your belly. Children get bored very easily. So I couldn't take more than 5 minutes with them.
Well, this is why he probably needs mindfulness more.
Yeah, that's why. That's in fact why I'm trying to teach it.
I know Yugesh is getting very excited. He's like, breathing exercise. I love this. Yes,
and
more.
5 minutes with an adult, also impressive. But one of the other things you can also do is get a nice stone, get a child to collect a nice stone that they like and put it on the top of their tummy. And then just ask them to move the stone up and down. Or get a nice fluffy toy that they like and get them to make that toy move up and down. That immediately brings them into the body and brings them into the breath, and it helps them to regulate their own breathing. It's a fabulous stress reduction
I'm pretty sure stirring is also one of those cathartic things, right, Jeannie?
Absolutely, and dinner is ready. And Claire, I have to tell you that little tub of chipotle is just magic. Because
it's a big favorite.
I was a little bit concerned that this was going to smell of cabbage.
No.
But it doesn't.
You get the smokiness of the chipotle and then the sweetness of the apples, and it's just, and then all that yummy pork sausage. Oh, it's good.
Looks like this
So
is going to be a winner.
Apples. So I've got this beautiful apple condiment, which I'm going to add to a dressing. It sounds weird to have a dressing on this, but you know, we've got a lot of flavor going there, and this just adds like a little bit of acidity to the dish and some extra juice. It's really yummy. So, you know, a typical dressing is, you know, a little bit of mustard, a little bit of acidity, a little bit of oil. So that's all we're going for. A little bit of Dijon mustard here. Let's probably go for a teaspoon and a half. Then some of this apple balsamic. It's just
I've never heard of that before. Is that just an apple flavor balsamic vinegar?
And it's just beautifully aged, and it's just such a stunning flavor. Love it. Okay, you're going to be doing whisking while I slowly stream in this. Go for it. You can whisk. So you just want to combine all of that together. The mustard acts as an emulsifier, so it kind of creates it all together as a beautiful dressing. This is actually my favorite dressing for a salad as well.
Really?
Yeah, very
My
simple.
whisking's gotten better. Hey?
No, it's very good. Good technique, good technique. So, yeah, that looks about right. So you can see it kind of comes together as a dressing. That mustard just kind of, like I said, brings it together, emulsifies it. Now let's just season. So some salt and pepper.
Love. I'll continue to whisk since I'm such a pro.
A little bit of salt, just really to taste. You can sort of dip your finger and taste, add a little more seasoning, see how you go. And then some beautiful red onions. That just adds another bit of flavour to it. Let's add a little bit more olive oil to that, just to liquefy it a bit. And then that just gets kind of drizzled and dropped over. And then you serve it,
Let's do it.
So, I mean, this one we obviously made earlier because it does take 45 minutes to an hour to make.
But Claire, don't tell them all our secrets.
I have to. No lying here. It's all real.
Oh.
Don't want to cheat anyone.
Look at that.
So then that just kind of oozes over the top. just get in there with some spatulas or whatever, some spoons, mix it all up and serve it just like that. You can also serve it with some extra, you know, I don't know, rice if you want to, but I wouldn't. We've got the potatoes.
No, this is so good just on its own. Maybe a little salad if you need.
So depending on how hungry you are, serves 4, maybe 2, who knows? But yeah, yummy, dinner, serve.
Afternoonexpress.co.za. That is where you will find this absolutely tremendous recipe. Smells glorious, and I absolutely cannot wait to taste it in a little while. But first, we're coming back after the break. We'll be back right now.
Dry, itchy and atopic skin? Try Dermalex Eczema for adults.
Show them how much you love them with Bob Martin.
Welcome back right here to Afternoon Express. It's a motivational Monday. We're discussing mindfulness, meditation, and how to become still and present in the moment. And I think we're all probably going to be struggling with this dish that we've got on the table here.
I know, I just came for the food. Hi guys, nice to meet you.
Guys, stress seems to be a big part of society at the moment. We mentioned anxiety, but what is stress and how do we overcome stress?
Well, for me, the way I like to define stress is that constant vacillation of your mind going from the past to the future, from the past to the future. So either regretting something we did in the past, angry about something we did in the past, or being fearful or anxious about something that could happen in the future. So our mind, we're living right now, but our mind's going past future. And that constant vacillation causes stress on our nervous system.
Isn't it important sometimes to think about the future? Like, shouldn't it be important to plan goals?
Oh, yes, definitely. But we shouldn't spend our whole day in the future and a whole day in the past.
Yes.
You know, maybe 90% of the time, live in this moment. Be mindful about what you're doing. Be aware, be present.
Okay.
And yes, plan for the future, learn from the past, but don't live there.
I was asking you earlier as well, Doctor, that is being mindful part of observing your thoughts and observing how you're thinking?
It very much is. And what most of us think when we think of mindfulness, we think that's thinking. We think that's thought. But actually, in a way, awareness and mindfulness are bigger than thoughts in that you can always be aware of what you're thinking. And as soon as you bring awareness to bear on thoughts and thinking, it doesn't mean the thoughts disappear. You become aware that you have thoughts, you become aware that you're thinking, and most importantly, you become aware that you've been lost in thinking.
Exactly.
And as soon as you re-establish awareness, then it changes your perspective on those thoughts. Usually then we can discard or let go of the thoughts that are not helpful. We can actually challenge the fixed beliefs and thoughts that we have which actually aren't serving ourselves and other people. And we can, in a sense, become we can come away from being imprisoned by everything we think and come back into the body and ground ourselves into where we are.
We've just got enough time to take a quick call. We've got Ivy on the line from Johannesburg. Hi, Ivy. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, and you? Good afternoon.
Fantastic. What's your question or comment?
Okay, well, I've been dealing, recently this year, I had to go and do an errand, and it was a very stressful experience, and then I had to get back into my car and travel on the highway to get home. So I traveled, and I was lost in thought, and eventually I stopped because I couldn't figure out whether I'd been driving on the highway for 5 hours or 5 minutes. So I was really disorientated and had to park on the side of the highway. But what I really would like to know, where can we learn to do mindful meditation?
Sure, so we need to get this answer.
Where do we find you guys to learn how to become mindful?
Well, certainly in terms of the mindfulness practice, we can train ourselves with various programs which are offered now around the country. Probably the best resource to look for that information is on the website for the Institute for Mindfulness, and that web address is www.mindfulness.org.za. I suspect
it will also be shared on our social media sites
as well,
too.
but we're going to share it.
Yeah.
But for now, thank you so much for all coming. We're going to be back again tomorrow.
Good night, happy eating.
Bye.
This looks delicious.
So I made you all dinner.
Another feel-good production.
Hi YouTubers, thank you so much for watching the show. Be sure to not miss another episode by clicking subscribe right over there. And we'll see you every day. Afternoon Express. Enjoy.